Okay, we are going to go over what is a bullish candlestick. Remember, I like my bull candles to be green. You can also keep your bullish candlesticks as blue. It can be either or. So let me just break this down for you. Of course, we know that when we are bullish, we are increasing in price, which means you are going higher and higher and higher. Okay? This wick, which they call an upper shadow, and sometimes it is also called a pin bar. This just tells you how high this entire candle went for the duration of that period, that time frame. Okay, say for example, this is a 1 hour time frame and you have this wick. This is how far the entire candle went for the duration of that time period. Same as if it was a day or if it was a 4 hour. This wick represents, this is how high it went. This is where it closed. Okay, we are in an uptrend. As you can see, this arrow shows you it came from here. So it opened here, but it went this far beneath the body before it proceeded to go up this high, but closed here. So remember, this is always how high it went. This part is where it closed. This is the upper shadow, the wick or the pin. This is what they call the real body. This is where it opened, and this is where it this is how far it went. This is how low it went. Okay, and of course they call this the lower shadow or the wick or the pin. And this is just what a bullish candlestick looks like. Now, on the other hand, here you have a bearish candlestick, and this is when we are shorting the market. Okay, this means to sell. This means we're going short. We're shorting the market. We're going to shorten the market. Okay, this is a bearish candlestick, and this just means that price has depreciated, like price has went down. So, of course, it has to open here in order to go down this way, right? And it closed here. However, this is how far it went during the duration of this candle, and this is how low it went during the duration of this candle. So this is how high it went. This is where it opened. This is where it closed. And this is how low it went. Remember, these could be called wicks, shadows, or even pin bars, you know, but this is what a bearish candlestick, looks like. Remember, this is the body of the candle. You always want to remember, if it's opening from the bottom and going up, it is appreciating, meaning it is bullish. However, if it opens here, that means it had to come from this way, right? Because it opened here and continued to the downside and it closed there. Okay, so now I'll show you them side by side. Okay, so here you have the two together. Here's your bull, here's your bear. How are you going to remember that this is a bull and this is a bear? Bear, let me explain the way I have taught it to several people. Bear, red, down, hell, period. Okay, that's it. Bear is going down to hell. That's how you remember the bearish. Okay, as far as our money green, our money is going up, right? Our money is going up. We are traders. We are here to get the bag, right? Now, if you cannot remember it by green up because your money, think about it as the sky. The sky is blue. You know, bullish can be blue or green, either one. The bearish can only be red, all right? And the bullish just means, again, it opened here and it went up. It went up. Price went up. Price appreciated. If it opened here, then price went down because it closed here. These wicks here, upper shadows, pins, whatever you want to call them, they only show you how high they went during the duration of the candle and how low they went during the duration of this candle. Okay, remember, this candle can be a 1 minute, it can be your 5 minute, it can be your 1 hour, it can be your daily. These are important. Pay attention to these wicks, especially when you are at major levels like support and resistance levels or supply and demand. Always pay attention to those wicks. They mean something. All right. So now we're going to move on to the dojis. Okay, now we have come to the Doji Candlestick. Sorry about that. Let me turn that volume down. Okay, so when we are looking at our dojis, we know that these mean indecision, right? You have the high of these dojis and the low of these dojis. It means no one is in control of the market. Look at them. Look at when you have the small little bodies, and sometimes you won't even have these, and I'll show you those. But you have the small little bodies. It opened here and closed here. And then look at this one. It opened here and closed here. It went nowhere really. I mean, it opened and closed pretty much in the same area. It went this high. It came this low. It's like, what are you doing? So when it comes to dojis, we're going to pay close attention to them, especially where they land. Again, are you at a supply or demand zone? Are you at a support or resistance level? When it comes to that, you want to pay close attention, although they mean indecision, because you will see these all throughout your charts. They are important at certain levels. Now, say, for example, you're in an uptrend and you see one of these appear. You want to pay close attention to it. If you get this wick, it's no longer to continue higher. You know what I mean? And you're wondering if price is going to fall beneath it. If this is your, say, for example, your resistance line here, let me see if I can draw a line here. Oh, sorry. Let me get that. Okay, let's just pretend. Is it not gonna allow me to? Yeah, it will. Okay, we're pretending right now. Okay, let's pretend this is your resistance level. And either one of these have come to this level. And then it wicked beneath. Say this line is yesterday's high. And you've wicked beneath. Your main goal now is to see if price is gonna go underneath here. Because why would it rise above? It's already giving you so much rejection at this point. Look at this rejection. If you are at resistance and you've come to this much rejection, do you really think it's going to continue above? So the same goes for, let's say, if we are going to put this at, I don't know why it's giving me a hard time. Say, for example, this is your support line and price has come down here, but it did not continue to move beyond this point. Do you really think it's going to come beneath here? You know, so those are the things you want to take a look at when you are trading. You want to see exactly where these are and what has taken place in them. Okay, so these are your dojis. Remember, you will see these all throughout your chart. It's important to pay attention to them when they come to either support and resistance levels or supply and demand zones. Okay, here, just as the other dojis you have seen, this is considered the doji star. This is the long-legged doji. Here we have the dragonfly. You know exactly what a dragonfly looks like in real life with the wings and the long body. Same here. And the gravestone doji, you can remember that by gravestone at the bottom in the grave, you know. So if you come to a resistance level, right, and you see this form, It's important to take notice. Look at how long the body is. This is how high price went. At one point, this was an entire candle. And then once it reached a certain level, it got pushed all the way back down. And this is where it ended, right here. Same here. If you get this at the end of support, and this has been pushed all the way back to the upside, you're pretty much waiting for a candle to close over this before you continue to the upside. If you got this at your resistance and it has been pushed all the way back down, you're waiting for price to move underneath here and close so that you can continue to the downside. So these dojis are important for you to pay close attention to. Yes, they mean indecision, unsure, but you can look at this the same way you will look at a this one for a shooting star and this one for a hammer, and I will show you those next so you'll see exactly what they look like. Okay, so here we go. As far as the hammer, remember I was referring this with the dragonfly, because remember I said it's like a T, and then you have the long wick or the long body. Okay, then the shooting star, this is the hammer, of course, you see. The shooting star, if it ended up at your, it reminds me of the gravestone doji because you have the long body and then you have this little base here at the end of this wick. So this would be like your gravestone. Let me see if I can draw that, if it will allow me to. Okay. So remember, I'm sorry, my line is not straight. Remember, that's the gravestone doji. And then remember the dragonfly doji looks like a T. I know it's not straight, sorry about that, but you get the concept. So it reminds me of these. So if you get this at the bottom of your support level, price has been pushed up. This was an entire candle. Price has been pushed up. You're waiting for price to close above this before you can take it to the upside. This has reached either a supply zone or a resistance zone, and you're waiting for price to close beneath it so that you can take it to the downside. You want to short this, okay? This you want to go long, you want to buy. This you want to go short, you want to sell, all right? So don't forget these patterns. If you forget, just come back to the video and rewatch it and take notes. Okay, now here are your bullish morning star and your bearish evening star. The way to remember this is, okay, evening usually happens at night, right? And the morning usually happens during the day, which to me, the way that I would remember it is the morning is up. So the bearish is up and the bullish morning star is down. I don't know why it's that way, but this is just the way that it is. So the morning star is at the bottom and the bearish evening star is at the top. So always, whatever you know it to be, flip it. Whatever you know it to be, remember it is the opposite. So when you have a downtrend and you come to support and you see these three characters, because the bullish morning star pattern consists of three characters. And you see the bull has completely engulfed the small body candle. This could also be a doji. And it's moving on to the upside from here. Okay, so it came down. You received this pattern. This is why you want to wait for patterns. And then it took off to the upside. You can get in the trade. Same here. It went to resistance or supply zone. It gave you these three characters. Your bearish has completely engulfed these here. And then it continued on to the downside. So do not forget, you may have to rewind this over and over to remember the bullish morning star is at the bottom. The bearish evening star is at the top. So just think of them as opposite. Okay, just think of it as opposite so you don't forget. I will see you in the next video. If this gets confusing, just keep rewatching it because it's important for you to know what these patterns are. All right, you have to know them for what they are. You have to know them like you know your name. All right, see you in the next video.